Hey everyone, welcome. This is Mompreneurs. Mompreneurs to Millionaires. So glad you're here. Today we are talking about how to boost engagement. Oh my gosh, tell me below if you feel like you are posting and hearing crickets, right? That is so frustrating. Tell me if you have spent like an hour drafting this perfect, beautiful post and you're like, oh my God, this hits home. This is exactly what I want to say. This is totally going to change lives, right? Like this is totally going to be the thing that, right? You drafted everything perfect. You put it out there, you make the perfect picture, video, whatever it is, perfect caption, all the things, and you hear crickets. Right? Tell me below if you feel like if either you have a Facebook group or just on your regular profile or anywhere that you're acting online, if it's your Instagram posts, your TikTok, or even your website, if you feel like you put things out there and you are hearing crickets, right? You're shouting to the void. Tell me below if you feel like you're shouting to the void. You're not alone, right? For one, you are definitely not alone. So that's what we are going to talk about today. I'm going to share some 3 easy ways to get more engagement. Now, I say this with a big caveat, right? Engagement is not great just for engagement, right? The whole point of engagement is we want it to convert, right? Tell me below if you want engagement or you want conversion, right? You actually want more clients probably, right? So definitely think about that. Think about all of the things that we talk about today is that focusing so much on engagement, unless it is turning into clients, I don't think that is the end result, right? Engagement is not the end game for sure. We want conversion. We want more clients, right? So we're going to talk about all of that with that thread of getting more clients. All right. So let's see. I'm just checking my notes here. So thanks so much to everyone who voted, right? I put out a poll every Tuesday in my group. I would love to hear what topics are coming up for you. If there's a topic where you feel like if I had a little more knowledge, if I had a little bit of tips and tricks in this one little area, that would really help my business. Feel free to suggest it below, or you can always suggest it in the poll on Tuesdays, or you can vote for the topics that I suggest. Obviously today, the topic that won was how to boost engagement. So I hear this so much from my clients that, oh, my group has gone quiet. Nobody is responding. And I feel like there's this air of, we think there's a lot of people in the background, right? That must be just watching and nobody's like interacting. I would encourage you to change your mindset a little bit and think, one, are people actually seeing it? Because here's my thought. If you have 0 likes and 0 comments, I don't think that there are people in the background watching. I really don't. I think that nobody saw your post, right? Is that frustrating? Tell me if you think that's true, because yes, I think there are some accounts where there could be people lurking and there are lurkers who don't necessarily engage, and that's fine. But I would not depend my business on that, right? I would not be thinking it's okay if I got 0 likes because there's people in the background, right? I would not be waiting for that, right? I call that posting and hoping. Tell me below if you feel like you have been posting and hoping. I was there for years, so we're going to talk all about it. So I invite you to, as you're watching this video, to really put on your abundance crown. I call it a crown because you are a goddess within. I believe every woman has the power within her, and you have the power to change, right? So even though we are told on social media, you must need to post more, you must need to be more consistent. If it's not working, try more, right? Tell me if you feel like you've I just need to do more, right? I've heard this so much. So many clients come to me and they think, well, I know my problem. My problem is just I need to post more. If it's not working and you don't have a full system of how to take someone through that journey of becoming a qualified lead into your world and taking them through your sales process, I am very sorry, but more posting is not going to fix any of that, right? Posting is not the answer, especially if no one is seeing your post. More of that thing is not going to magically fix it, right? Unfortunately. So I invite you to put on your abundance crown and really think about, what are you hearing from today's video that could change your mind, that could change your business? Because you have the power. No one, unfortunately, is coming to save your business, right? I wish I could save everyone's business, but you have the power to change. You have the power to change your mindset, change your actions. So with that, I would love to hear 2 action items. So just write down 2 action items. We're going to remember something more if we write it down, of course. So as you're listening today, I would love for you to think about what 2 things really stood out to you that you're going to do differently, that you're going to either think about differently, it was an aha moment, change the way you thought about something, or an actual action that you are going to take. Because you're spending time with me, I want you to get something out of it. So write down 2 things, and I'd love to hear what they are. So with that, right, really think about, is posting and hoping, even if I'm getting 0 likes or 0 comments, having that idea that there might be some lurkers, or there might be someone, or I'm really hoping, or one day the algorithm might work. That is all fine and dandy, but I don't think you should put all your eggs in that basket, right? Posting and hoping is not a strategy, right? I did it for years and it got me 0 results. So I'm here, I'm on a mission to help others. So quick background about me, if you're new here, my name is Christina, and I have been helping other businesses for over a decade. I like to say that I started my first little entrepreneurial venture with my little Etsy shop back in 2010. I very quickly realized the internet is gigantic, right? Has anyone else come to this realization? You can't just build it and people show up, right? I couldn't just put out my Etsy shop, have perfect pictures, and people would just show up, right? You cannot just build a website. You can't just have a social media profile. You can't just decide one day I'm going to put out my message and people will come. Unfortunately, right? I wish that were the case. It usually takes a bit more effort to get people to wherever you want to get them to, right? You have to drive traffic to your social media profile, your website, your doors, right? Your Etsy shop, whatever that looks like. I learned this lesson again in 2014. My husband and I opened a bike shop, coffee shop. I love talking about the bike shop. It is a brick and mortar. Oh my goodness, brick and mortar. Tell me below if you've had the pleasure and the trial of having a physical store. It's a whole other ball game, right? You need people in the door. You need people coming in constantly. And that was a real big challenge for us. Again, if you build it, right? The perfect shop, even the perfect location, colors, brands, all the things, people don't just show up, right? You have to go to them. So that was my big lesson in life. And I'm here to pass it on to you, that you can't just set up shop. You can't just post on social media and hope people show up one day. You have far more power, right? You are a goddess. You have the power. So you can go to them. So I encourage you to not get stuck in a posting and hoping, not get stuck in a building before you know your audience, or building and hoping they will come. Right? I often see this too, that if you want to build a course, you have this great offer, you're going to build out this perfect workshop, you're going to do all these things to work on your offer and your message without having an audience first. So that's definitely one of the number 1 mistakes I see so many businesses make, is that they think if I build it, then the people will show up, right? And I learned it 2 times, that if you build it, they do not just come, right? So unfortunately, after we had to shut down the business, I turned it into my passion, because I thought there must be other women business owners who are struggling just like me. If we could all share our resources, share knowledge, we can rise together, right? That is my big motto in life, is that we rise together. If we can all share our knowledge, share access, resources, buy from each other, that is how we are all going to grow together. More money in the hands of good women, right, can do certainly more good in this world, and that's what we need. So that is my mission in life. Okay, so you are here I'm going to share 3 things to think about for engagement, 3 ways to boost engagement. So the first one is to really think about your social media profile as your broadcast. And typically this is easy. This is what we've been doing. This is typically where most people start. It is your broadcast. It is your billboard. This is the Christina show. This is where I'm telling you my story, maybe sharing some education. This is giving some value, right? I would consider this only on your own profile, not in your group. So if you have a Facebook group, if you've been around here for any amount of time, you know I'm a big believer in Facebook groups, treating it like a sales funnel, because you need a place to get your audience to come in and warm up to you. You need a place to collect emails, to warm them up in the email. You need a place to get them to self-identify and qualify them before they get into your world, and give them opportunities to say yes. To me, the Facebook group is the perfect funnel for this. Very easy, very effective, very quick. So that's what I love about Facebook groups. So if you are posting outside of your Facebook group, this is perfect for those education broadcast types. But to really think about, am I creating a call to action? So even in those telling a story, education, value type posts, I would always encourage you to have a call to action. So some type of question at the end, or comment this below if you agree, or when did this something similar happen to you, or something like that, right? Start with a question, and I would encourage you to put it at the top of your caption and at the bottom. So often I see this, that it's a long form post, and there's a long story, and unfortunately, I don't think people are reading those long stories. I will if I like you, but I probably won't if I'm scrolling, right? So you want to make it easy, like comment this below, and they see your picture and they comment that below, right? They might not read your story. So a call to action, I think, is definitely number one, and this is for the broadcast posts. So think about your outside of your Facebook group as your billboard, your placeholder. This is where you are talking about you and your services and educating and giving value. Those are all great things to do. I would consider this outside of your Facebook group. Inside your Facebook group, this is number two. Inside your Facebook group, treat it like a party. Who doesn't want to go to a party, right? Your Facebook group is not an extension of your profile. It is not the Christina Show. It is not just a place to duplicate content. I encourage duplicating content everywhere else, right? The same stuff can be absolutely on your Facebook profile, business page, Instagram, TikTok, absolutely. Duplicate it everywhere else except your Facebook group. Inside your Facebook group, treat it like a party. This is tip number two. Treat your Facebook group like a party. This is where you are asking questions. So to me, this is really important to distinguish. This is not the tell them place. Inside your party, you're asking questions. The value you bring inside your Facebook group is that your audience feels seen. And that is the value that gets them warmed up to trust you and buy from you. So ask questions. I encourage inside your Facebook group to be only asking questions. To me, that is the most effective Facebook group, because that is where you're going to get to know your audience, get to know what words resonate with them. Are they struggling with this? You know, what tools are they using? Like, how are they feeling about life, about kids, about parenting, about business, about all the things, right? What are their thoughts? What are they feeling? Get to know the words that your audience is saying. Get to know your audience. So ask them. So inside your Facebook group, it's a party. Treat it like a party. Nobody wants to show up and the host of the party is just talking about herself again, right? Nobody wants to show up to a party and it's the Christina Show. You get that outside of my Facebook group. That is on my social media profiles. That is on my personal profile, business, right? That is all the platform style, or the billboard style. That is outside your Facebook group. All right. So that's tip number two. Treat it like a party and ask questions. Tip number three, this is the easiest piece but gets so missed. So often we see someone comment and we're like, yes, we got a comment. And then we're gone, right? Follow up, like comment back on every single comment. That is how you boost engagement, right? If someone comments on your post or in your group or anywhere, if someone comments, comment back, right? Ask them another question, get them to comment again. Every time there's a comment in your post, it gets shown to more people. That is how you boost engagement. Now, you can tag people, right? You can tag people. I always suggest this in the comments. If you tag people in a post, it will go on their profile, and most people aren't particularly keen on that. But you can tag people in the comments. You can always tag me if I'm in your group. I would love to, if you need a little boost on some posts, tag me. I'd love to comment. But that is how you're going to get more engagement, is comment on your own stuff, tag other people. You can use the @everyone tag. That's always great too. But follow up, right? That is the whole point of everything. That engagement is not the end result. Engagement is great, right? And that is really good for Facebook numbers, really good for your social media accounts, right? Really good. It's good to get engagement because then you will get more engagement, right? Facebook will show your stuff. All the algorithms are designed to show more of what people want. So if more people are engaging, it's going to show it to more people. So comment on your own stuff for sure. But that's not the end game, right? The end game is clients. You want people to pay for your services. So you really need a system to take them through this journey. That is great if they engage with your content. Then what, right? You really need a system to take them on that journey, have a conversation, get them into your world, figure out what they need, and if it's the right fit for your services. This is how you're going to take people from a follower to a client, right? And to me, it really involves using that Facebook group like your funnel. Get them into your Facebook group to learn more things about them, and then take them through your sales process. So these are all things that I love helping my clients with. I hear this a lot. Many people think groups are dead, right? Tell me below if you feel like Facebook groups are dead. I hear this a lot, and my take is always Facebook groups aren't dead, but there are a lot of dead Facebook groups, right? There are a lot of groups that people have started. It's gone quiet. They gave up. It's still just floating out there, right? And if you happen upon it, you're like, oh, here's another dead Facebook group, right? Here's another nobody's engaging in this Facebook group. To me, there are some special tools and tricks that you can do to get any Facebook group reinvigorated again. If you have an old, dead Facebook group and you want to get it started again, you want to use it like your sales funnel, I would love to talk. I always start with I call it my leaky leads checkup. This is wherever you're at in the process, if you're at the beginning, if you're established, if you're more seasoned, but you feel like there's something missing in your process, in your leads funnel sales process. If you feel like you are having conversations, but it is not converting, that is a different problem than if you are not even getting people into your world. If you need people into your world, let's talk about getting more leads, qualified leads, getting on the calls with the right people. Then it's a different problem to then be converting those people, right? That is how we're going to take them through that sales process. So if you're interested in the leaky leads checkup, feel free to just say leads below. We can talk together and figure out what the gaps are in this system, in your funnel, in that journey. Whatever system you've already created, it doesn't have to be a Facebook group, but if you already have leads coming in, but you're having trouble converting, let's figure out where that is, where that gap is. Or if you're just still having trouble getting visible, getting the right people into your world, let's talk about that. That would be a different gap. So I'd love to talk about that. Just say leads below if either of those two things are your problem. I often hear this too, that nobody wants to be salesy, right? So many women say, well, I'm just not that pushy person. I'm just not that salesy. I get that, right? Nobody wants to be pushy. Nobody wants to be sold to. Selling is serving. I really want to drive this point home. If you have a business, you've got to get comfortable with the word sales, right? If you want to make money, you've got to get comfortable with the word sales. So I am on a mission to help every woman feel aligned with whatever sales strategy makes sense for them. This whole process that we talk about, there is an aligned place, I think, for every woman to feel good about being direct about her business. Once they've said yes to things, once they're in your world, once they've already told you how interested they are, wouldn't that feel so much better that that is just a follow-up? If they're already interested in what you have, then it's just a matter of figuring out, okay, which program, which service is right for them, where are they at, and how can we work together, right? Is this the right fit? It's no longer, are they interested, right? That's a much different, a little more salesy, pushy energy. Are they interested in this? If you already know they're interested, then it's just a matter of figuring out, okay, what then, right? And it's really about figuring out how to be direct. To me, that is one of the great benefits of a Facebook group, is it tells you how interested people are. You can ask them questions, right? They enter your Facebook group by telling you how interested they are in your services. Then you only follow up with the yeses. Wouldn't that feel good to wake up every day to a bunch of yeses? That's what I love about the Facebook process, the Facebook group process, is that I wake up to yeses. I love waking up to yeses, right? Who wouldn't love that? If you feel like you do not have time, I hear this is another one, right? If you don't have time, you think, oh my gosh, this Facebook group management is going to just add one more thing on my plate, right? I hear that a lot as well. And I will tell you, I'm here to tell you, I spend very little time actually in my Facebook group. One of the biggest things is only allow yourself to post, right? If you're wanting to create this support group, that's amazing. But if this is for your business, you're the only one that can post, right? Control that. That cuts down on a lot of moderation. You are curating the conversation. So you're the only one who can post. Everyone can comment, right? Of course, they can still create support, discussions, comment, whatever they want, but they're in the comments. You get to control this, right? This is your business. You control the conversation. Your goal and the value you bring is that they feel seen in those conversations. So also, if you feel like you do not have time, so that cuts down on a lot of moderation. But the point of a Facebook group too is that content can be scheduled. I would encourage you to schedule content wherever you are, whether it's outside your Facebook group or even inside your Facebook group. Inside the group, you can schedule out 30 days. So if all your content is just asking questions, and I encourage it to be that bold text, color block background post, you can schedule this out for 30 days. I want you to be focused on relationships, not content. To me, relationships are actually how you're going to convert, not more content. If you feel like I just need to be more consistent on social media, typically that means more, right? I just need to post more. Posting more, doing the same thing that's not working is not going to magically move your business, unfortunately, right? I think this is definitely one of the biggest mistakes I see at the beginning, is that so many entrepreneurs think, well, I'm just going to try this for a little bit. I'm just going to keep trying to do it myself and see if it works out. I call that posting and hoping, right? That's really a hoping without a clear strategy. So this is what I would love to help you figure out in my Leaky Leads Checkup. If you're interested, just say leads below. It's a free call where we just look at whatever system you currently have and figure out where these gaps are. Where is the hoping happening, right? What's the piece where people are either falling off the edge of the earth, right? People are just getting out of your world and you're forgetting about them. They're forgetting about you, right? Where are these gaps? How can you take more people into your sales process? How can you get more people in, qualified people, the right people coming in and taking them through that conversation process? So that is what we work on. It's free. Just say leads below if you're at all interested. I think that is it for today. If you feel like if you realize that you don't need more content, right? This is for you. If you feel like you have realized, okay, content is not what I need. I don't like creating content. I get that. And here's a piece about something that you don't like, right? Here we are. If you're wanting to create a business, there are certain steps of every business that will be needed to be successful. Right? Every business is going to have to do some form of sales. I get that. It would be a miracle and amazing. And if you're selling products and you just want to put it out there and you just want people to click and buy, that's great. That is a different process, right? That is a different process. I still would argue you're still going to need to make some connections and connect with people and have some relationships. But if you're selling higher ticket services, definitely it is going to take a conversation. It is going to take more than just a click and buy, right? You are going to need to build that relationship for people to drop big dollars on your services. So if that's something you're realizing that, okay, my content is not converting, I really need to have more conversations, this is the perfect place for my Leaky Leads Checkup. This is where we can really talk about, all right, well, how do we get the right people into more conversations to then convert? That's the goal, right? Again, engagement is not the end game. Conversion is what we want. We really want to take all of our chaos and turn that into clients. We want to turn our quiet content into clients. That's the goal. Awesome. So I think that's it for today. Thanks so much for sticking around. We'll see you on